Prepare to shatter your understanding of martial arts history. Ueshiba's early Aiki training was not merely different, it was a completely alien paradigm that would stun modern practitioners. We're unearthing the foundational practices that forged O-sensei, unveiling how his formative journey diverged dramatically from today's martial arts world. The modern image of this martial art is one of peace and harmony. Many practitioners see it as a flowing, almost dance-like path to self-improvement. They believe it was born from a spiritual revelation, a way to resolve conflict without causing harm. This narrative, while comforting, is a profound misunderstanding of the art's origins. The truth is far more brutal. Morihei Ueshiba's early training was not gentle. It was violent, practical, a bone-jarring system of combat designed for life or death encounters. The Aiki that Ueshiba first mastered was a world away from the soft, compliant practice seen in many dojos today. The myth of the ever-peaceful founder has obscured the harsh reality of his formative years. He was a powerfully built man, forged in the crucible of intense physical struggle. His art was not conceived in quiet meditation. It was hammered into shape through relentless, full-contact training. These techniques were tools for survival, breaking joints, disrupting balance, and neutralizing an attacker with shocking efficiency. It was preparation for the unforgiving violence of his time. Section 2. Takeda Sokaku, the Forging of a Fighter. No figure is more central to the brutal origins of Ueshiba's Aiki than Sokaku Takeda, the infamous and feared headmaster of Daito-ryu Aiki Jujutsu. A battle-tested art with a lineage stretching back centuries, Takeda was no philosopher. He was small, notoriously tough, highly skilled, a professional warrior who traveled across Japan teaching his deadly craft for a fee. When Morihei Ueshiba met Takeda in Hokkaido in 1915, it was a turning point. Daito-ryu was not a dojo art for hobbyists. It was close-quarters self-preservation. The curriculum built around joint locks, pins, devastating throws standing and on the ground, control the whole body by manipulating a single joint break balance instantly, finish immediately. Training was intense, often painful, grueling, and expensive. Ueshiba invested time, money, and everything he had. He built a dojo for Takeda and served as his assistant, gaining unprecedented access. He learned hundreds, if not thousands, of techniques, practiced with urgency and realism, tested by sudden, unexpected attacks. Aikido's core locks, unbalancing, timing, direct inheritances from Takeda. Ueshiba mastered them, then evolved them. Section 3. The Brutal Realities of Rural Training. Ueshiba's most formative training occurred in rugged, isolated environments, Hokkaido, Ayabe, Iwama. Training was part of a difficult life. Dojos were simple, cold in winter, hot in summer. Floors were wooden planks or hard-packed earth. A bad fall was a painful lesson in gravity. Ueshiba farmed, led his community, logged, developed land. Hard labor forged a resilient body. Sessions were long and exhausting, often after a full day's work. Students endured hardship as standard. The environment filtered out the unserious, leaving the dedicated and robust. They trained in all conditions on uneven ground, with minimal equipment, adapting techniques to unpredictable realities. A throw that works on a flat mat can fail in mud. A lock feels different when hands are numb from cold. Rural Aiki was practical, adaptable, robust. Intense and often dangerous training required deep trust because they were training to protect family and community when law felt distant. Grappling and joint locks, the core of early Aiki. In early Aiki, there was no ambiguity. It was a grappling art. The goal, seize control of the body and neutralize completely through joint locks, pins, and throws. Gatame waza, nage waza. Not peripheral, the very heart of the system. Ikkyo, Nikkyo, Sankyo were not gentle wrist stretches. They contorted joints to the breaking point, creating excruciating pain for instant compliance. Students learned precise angle and pressure on wrist, elbow, and shoulder, real leverage in real struggle. Throws were not graceful redirections. They took the feet, drove head and spine toward the ground, then transitioned to pins or finishing locks. Shihonage, Ariminage, executed with speed and commitment to end fights decisively. Training mirrored chaos distance shifts. Levels change in an instant. This is the forgotten core before the spiritual path. A brutal, effective grappling method for domination and control. One profound difference between early Aiki and much of modern Aikido lies in resistance. Today, many dojos drill predictable attacks with compliant yuki useful for learning patterns, but far from what Ueshiba endured. In the early days, training was alive. Partners resisted. They fought to stay standing, fought to keep their arms, and counterattacked. Renrakuwaza live resistance tested techniques. What works on passive partners can fail against genuine force. Sessions resembled sparring. Students pushed, pulled, struggled testing balance, structure, and timing. If angle or pressure was wrong or timing missed, the technique failed. That struggle built adaptation and true Aiki under duress. They learned to feel intentions through contact and exploit the slightest shift in balance. The flowing movements Ueshiba became famous for were not the starting point. They were the result of decades of intense, resistant training and learning to deal with full, uncooperative force. Development in Ueshiba's circle was forged through relentless, repetitive, physically punishing conditioning drills. Two pillars, uchikomi and kakie, not designed to be comfortable or easy. They built a body and mind capable of withstanding and delivering explosive power, the engine room of early Aiki. Uchikomi, repeated entries for throws and locks execute the entry, break balance, bring uke to the brink, stop, repeat dozens, even hundreds of times. Built muscle memory, endurance, explosive power, conditioning the body to move correctly without thought in real confrontation. Kakie, dynamic, often forceful. Stand close, forearms touching, pushing, pulling, yielding, redirecting to feel force, unbalance, and control center. Not soft or compliant, a constant struggle for position and dominance, building incredible sensitivity in arms and torso. Brutal but effective, strengthening tendons, toughening bones, deepening mechanics. They left exhausted, bruised, soaked, yet stronger, faster, more sensitive. The warrior's body was earned through thousands of repetitions and hours of focused struggle. Ueshiba's Aiki was built on this foundation. The training in Ueshiba's early years was not an academic pursuit. It was direct preparation for violent, lethal encounters. Drills demanded intensity and focus rare in modern dojos. The mindset was survival, not sport. Techniques were stripped of anything superfluous, honed into brutally efficient tools to end a conflict fast. Against armed attackers, bayonet and knife were common in his era. Training was not a stylized dance. Attackers struck with genuine intent at vital targets. Wooden weapons were hard and could injure, mistakes hurt. Randori was simultaneous and unpredictable, designed to overwhelm, forcing instinct and core principles over choreography. It taught balance, awareness under duress, constant movement, handling threats fluidly. A throw wasn't done until the opponent was pinned or disabled. Joint locks could be broken if needed. A fight wasn't over until the threat was gone. This brutal pragmatism is the bedrock of Ueshiba's early art. Peace and reconciliation came later after mastering the grim science of survival. The transformation of Morihei Ueshiba from fearsome martial artist into spiritual teacher is one of martial history's most fascinating arcs. In the mid-1920s, influenced by Omoto Kyo and Onisaburo Deguchi, he recontextualized his practice, not erasing the martial base, overlaying it with a philosophical framework. Aiki Budo, then Aikido, the way of harmonizing with ki. He spoke of harmony redirecting aggression without unnecessary injury. The outward expression softened. Principles of balance, timing, leverage remained. This is the Ueshiba most people know, effortless throws while speaking of peace and reconciliation. But that spiritual expression was only possible because of the combative foundation, decades with resisting opponents. Harmony was born from mastery of conflict. Gentle flow is the polished surface of a mountain of hard, repetitive, often violent training. The later philosophy did not replace the mechanics. It gave them higher meaning. The steel of early training was always present, wrapped in silk. To understand Aikido, we must look at its complete history, accepting the two faces of the art. One face is steel-hard, sharp, unforgiving techniques to control and incapacitate. This is the foundation, the engine that drives the art. Admiring the river's beauty means knowing the current beneath. The other face is silk smooth, flowing, flexible, a spiritual path and way of harmony that has inspired millions. But silk derives strength from steel. Philosophy has meaning because of the harsh reality it transcends. Modern practitioners, do we only practice the silk? Reintroduce resistance and non-compliance safely to feel the steel within the silk. By embracing both, we honor Ueshiba's legacy. The journey from brutal fighting art to path of peace gives Aikido its power and purpose. Train with a mindset of peace and compassion and a body that knows timing, structure, and control born from conflict. That is the true way of Aiki. To support the channel, comment, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to catch future content. Choose a video on your screen, and we will see you there. Thank you.